Hey everybody.
Your heart has been broken, and hard words have been spoken. It ain't easy, but it's only love. Oh, it ain't easy, baby. It's only love, and that's all. That's all.
Listen to it.
Hey, Hammerheads, for everything Van Halen and guitarish, visit me, Johnny Bean, on Johnny Bean TV, and exclusively Van Halen for all things Van Halen. Right now, you're watching Hammer Away, hosted by Viking Stew. He's the one, a real eruption, an atomic punk. Stew, this is way over the top, man. I got this. Hammer Away, it's music and the human experience. Tune in and like and subscribe. Again, this is Johnny Bean saying, let's get hammered. That's it. Let's get hammered. That's how you want to end this? Okay. All right.
Can you hear me, mate? Nice to see you, Hammer. How are you? Nice to see you.
Well, hello, everybody. How is it going today? It is a Tuesday. That is right. And it is the 28th. Can you believe that? The 28th. This month is almost over, and woof, it's crazy. I wish I had a better camera angle going here, because if I try to mess with this too much, do you like this? Do you like this? This won't be here next time. This is a nice little internet ether cable there. Got going. Isn't that cool? It's just, wow, it's classy. Not everybody's got that. I mean, I might. Maybe I leave it. Maybe I put lights on it. That might be a good idea. So maybe not. You know, write in the comments. Tell me what you think. Maybe you dig the cable. It's, you know, you just never know. You never know. Some people, they love the cables. But it does make me look techie, and you know, and also, wow, great internet going on there too. I like the stoppy, choppy internet I got going there. That's fun. Well, it is. Well, yeah. I feel badly for my son, they had a huge storm where he lives and been out of power for pretty much like a buck and a half, a whole day and a half. And hopefully they'll have power soon, but they're saying maybe by tomorrow. So, yeesh. So my thoughts and my prayers go out to everyone involved with that power outage, and especially my family members there. So great, still choppy. I love it. This is awesome. You know, maybe it's because I dicked with that frickin' cable. I bet that's what it is, because I shouldn't have talked about the cable. Don't talk about the cable. It's like Fight Club. We don't talk about it. So yeah, went the other night and checked this out. What a great tour. You know, Pat mentioned that they had, you know, they did it last year, and they're like, we had to do that again. It was good. Here's the some of the latest tour dates that he's got going on. Of course, started here in St. Louis, and he's got his brand new album out, Roll with the Punches. And went to Wichita. Let's see, what is today? The 28th. He's in Austin, Texas today. That's cool. Had a day off yesterday. Well, maybe. Sometimes you look at these listings and maybe I don't know what they, you know, who knows? He was in Oklahoma. You know, the one thing I didn't grab, I have all this great video stuff and information. And you know what I didn't grab was, their band members. So I'm gonna put that in real quick. There we go. Band. Let's see. Band 2026. Let's just put that in, because I know Pat's back. I think it's Pat. Keith is back. He had a knee surgery. So let's see. Band members. We got. Wow, Bryan Adams is in the band. All right, there you go. However, it only lists him as, now this is AI, so it doesn't keep up. but lead vocals and rhythm guitar. You know, if you notice some of my feet, if you notice maybe when I talk, that would be better. Maybe I need one of those. Maybe a nice Hawaiian punch. That might straighten me out. So anyway, real quick, I'll get back to the bands here in a second. But yeah, they got Houston right after that. Then a day off. Then New Orleans, which I've been listening. I've been hearing a lot about New Orleans. Listen to Jack Kennedy's book. That was great. How to test negative for stupid. I think that's what it's called. North Little Rock, Arkansas, then Greenville, South Carolina, Orlando, Florida, North Carolina, Baltimore, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Oof, things happen in New Jersey. And Buffalo, New York, and Detroit, Michigan, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My friend just saw a movie that took place in Detroit. Dang, what was the name? It was Motor City. Is that what it was called? Motor City something. And Jack White had something to do with the movie and stuff like that. So maybe we'll check that out. Anyway, band members, back to Bryan Adams, lead vocals, rhythm guitar, and as I was going to say, from the videos and the photos I have, he played bass as well. Beautiful. Played a beautiful Fender bass. If I knew more about years, I would probably know when it was, but gorgeous guitar. Keith Scott then on lead guitar and backing vocals, with Adams since 76 and 81. So Mickey Curry on drums still since 81 and backing vocals. Solomon Walker, bass and backing vocals, touring since 2017. Gary Briett, keyboards and backing vocals. Pretty cool. Current outing is the Roll with the Punches tour supporting his 16th studio album. The U.S. leg in summer of 2026, running from July 24th, to August 16th. There you go. Special guests, Pat Benatar and Neil Geraldo. The Canadian leg is late summer. That's going to be August 24th through September 13th. So for my buddy up in Canada and all my buddies up in Canada, I've got lots of friends from Canada, lovely people. And so maybe some of my friends are going to go and see him. But I'll tell you what, it is thoroughly worth it. Great show. Everybody sounded fantastic. I'm telling you, the guitar work by Keith Scott was great for Bryan. Also, Neil. Do you have to say much more? Neil. Always great. Always great. Pat, I'm going to put Pat Benatar in here. Tour band. Just had a couple of members that were outside of the two of them. So obviously the core duo we've talked about. Then let's see who else. Let's see if they've got it listed here. Why don't they have it? Who's in Pat Benatar's band? Okay. Who is touring? Oi. Okay. Why? Okay. Who is Pat Benatar's? Okay. Caesar Griffin, current touring drummer. Caesar Griffin, who joined the two of them for live dates and tours starting in the spring of 25. Caesar Griffin. There you go. Previous longtime drummer was Chris Rollis. Toured with the band for over a decade. Wow. Okay. Now, what about the bass player? The bass player was definitely, let's see, classic bass. He's been around for a while, it looked like. Older gentleman. Really good. Totally solid. Loved it. Now, come on. Can we just get back to the tour band, please? Let's just do that. Give it to me. Okay. bass player. Let's just put tour band bassist. Good Lord. You'd think it would be easier than this these days. The longtime touring and recording bassist for Benatar is Mick Mahan, who has held the position for 25 years. There you go. Original bassist for Pat Benatar band during her early classic album and touring era was Roger Capps. All right. So Mick was the man. He was, like I say, on it. And he, it was one of those situations too, when I was watching him there on stage. It reminded me of my buddy telling me about Shooting Star, and when he was touring and playing with Shooting Star, and they had a box on the stage that they would tape out, and they're like, you stay, that's where you are. You don't move outside that. And I mean, and I well, in that case I don't get it. In this case I get it. And I mean, the bass player probably doesn't. I don't know, maybe they don't care. They're like, cool, I'll make the money and do the job. And I mean, it's been doing it for a long time now, 25 years. So fun. I disappeared again. That's neat. That's really cool. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's you kind of just do what you're going to do, right? I'm going to see what's behind me here on this. Oh, that's cool. All right, let's do that. But yeah, solid. I got a little video here I can show you. Here are, let's go through this. I'm just going to play this. I might take myself off of the, I'll take myself out. There we go. Nope, that's not the right thing. Oh yeah, I need to be in the video section. That's why. All right, so let's see. I got a couple of things to tell you about this, but here we go. Here's the two sets. This is the set listing for both groups. So yeah, the one thing that's bugging me though is that I guess when I'm going to have to do something real quick while we're talking, which is fine. I got plenty of that's what I can do here. I'm going to do that. What I need to do is this is interesting. Okay. Is I need to drop a video in and convert it. So I don't know why I didn't get to that. I'm just not sure why. I thought I had, but I guess I did not. Let me go down to the bottom here. No, okay. So I have that's the set list. Okay, and there's a roll. Okay. There's that. Here's that. Okay, that's really fun. Wait till you check that out. Okay, so that's it. So let me drop this in over here, and then I'll just do a quick conversion, and we'll have it. That'll be really far out. So let's do that. No, that's not what I want to do. Let's go back. And we're going to share it, but we're going to do, come on now. We're going to make a file, and we're going to do, let's go back to this, and let's see where we're going to save that. Yep, that's where I want it, and good to go. Okay, so that'll be done momentarily. And so the show, we were just out in the hallway. We went to go get our merch, which it just took a minute to find the merch booth. And here's just so you can see what it looks like. here's the t-shirt. This is from some other.
You gotta make up your mind. You gotta make up your mind. Between your future or his story. It's you and him, or it's you and me. You could be cruel.
That's enough. Tour book looks pretty cool. I don't invest in a lot of that stuff anymore. It's just too expensive, but I did get the shirt. Now that one was the blue one. My wife's like, I like when you wear blue, but it's too light. I don't like how the light blues look on me. It just doesn't look good. So I went with the charcoal kind of grayish blue. So there you go. And as you saw, it has the tour dates on the back. So love it. Love the shirt. Love the shirt. Love the show. Then I have it. It's right here. Now I kept mine. I don't know if it matters if I keep it or not, but they had these, as we walked in, I noticed that there was somebody there handing these out. And I'm like, what is it? You know, it's totally nondescript. You'd almost think it would say roll with the punches on it, or Bryan Adams or something like that. But I kept mine. You could have returned it for recycling, but I didn't, because I didn't know if it's got a Bluetoothy thing to it. So I thought, oh, I wonder if there's a possibility of linking in through Bluetooth, and then you could use it. So anyway, so we got these. We're like, what are these for? So then during the show, what it did was it flashed all kinds of colors. So they had it linked into their system, and it would flash through the show. There was different patterns of flashing through the show. Now here, this will show it. Here's a little video. So you can see here all the people up top, all the way through the crowd. And then he had this cool floating, well, it wasn't floating, it was on a thing where this big boxing glove was floating around over the stadium, over the audience there in the auditorium. It was really, really cool. It was a lot of fun, and it was neat. And then he had a car that came out later on when it was one of the songs that he was doing. It's called Happy something. So Happy It Hurts. Yeah, that's what it was. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. And, yeah, so it's neat. Neat stuff. Neat stuff. They did make it a really cool big show. Pat Benatar's was, pretty, simple right there. Just, sometimes you can watch these bands and think, yeah, what was it like back in the day when they were doing that? And everybody's running around everywhere, and she's probably wearing high heels and completely kicking ass, running all over the stage or moving around the stage. I never did see her back in the day. Never did. I didn't see a lot of concerts back in the day. I saw my share. Let's just put it that way. I saw my share. I have a lot of ticket stubs, but not as many as other people. I just didn't. That's not where I put my money in doing that. I did see, like I say, I was fortunate though, like Iron Maiden, having a friend who was friends with somebody who knew some of the Iron Maiden management. So that was cool. I'll tell you those. We'll go through those stories someday. I think I probably talked about it a little bit here before, but just in case. So let's see if we can get this other video in here. I'm going to drop a couple of these because we've watched them now. I'm not going to drop that one. I'll drop this one. All the kind of stuff I can get rid of. But yeah, let's see if we can sneak this file in here real quick. Let's see. I got that place. There it is. Okay. So yeah. So Pat Benatar was up there. I showed you what they did, and let's go through some of the photos before I get into this while we're waiting for this video. So we get into the show, and I just started taking some pictures. So there's Caesar back there, and there's I said that was Mick. Yep. So, and there you go. Got a nice little angle to that picture there. And there we go. I was all the way at the back. So some of these, I didn't get great pictures, but it was neat to, I try not to take too many pictures. I try to pay attention, and I was paying attention. I mean, I was singing along to most every song. There's Neil behind the piano there. And there you go, playing behind the piano. Jamming out, switching guitars a bunch. And man, Caesar was great on the drums. Killing it. There we go. There we go. Got a couple more, yes, or the one more. That's it. Now, so they finished up. It's great. Finished up with Heartbreaker, as you saw on the listing earlier, and then it was time for Bryan. And I wasn't, I stepped out, saw some friends of mine. Hi, Carla, and so was hanging out with them a little bit, and then I wore my Wayward Sons t-shirt that night. You all have heard me talk about Wayward Sons, and I've had Toby on the show multiple times from Wayward Sons and Little Angels, and so you know who that is. Well, this gentleman comes walking up, and he's like, "Hey, Wayward Sons." He goes, "Man, I opened for those guys out in California, right?" I'm like, "Whoop, nope, no, I know. Yeah, those are the guys that wear wigs and they play cover tunes and all that stuff." And he goes, yeah. I go, "No, that's not the same band. Not the same band." So I said, I get it. And that's all cool. And in fact, I had a moment with Toby years ago where I was like, "Well, looks like you're playing in California." And he goes, "Nope, that's another band." I'm like, okay. So that's how that went. But yeah, we get to talk, and we're all immediately having this great conversation. He's wearing this cool Journey t-shirt and stuff. I get his phone number. We're talking. We got to get together. We got to talk and all this stuff. And so then we get back into the show, and I get back to my seat, and all of a sudden it's time. And here we go. It's time for Bryan. And we hear him singing. And we look down. I'm going to see if this is done loading. I'm sure it is. No, it's not done loading in yet. Son of a monkey. Okay. Maybe I'll have to do it a different way, because I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk about this first. So next thing I know, he's singing. He's doing an acoustic thing. And he's, like I said, we were in the back in the lower bowl, which was great. It was great, there. It wouldn't have been great back in the day when I was seeing Whitesnake and Van Halen and other bands in that late, probably early 90s time frame. Cinderella, Judas Priest, these things that we were seeing. And because I didn't have my glasses, but I've since gotten the glasses, and it's much better. So, but there he was. He was right there in front. He was on the backstage. If you'll notice you noticed earlier on the listing, there was a stage B. That's where he was. He was back there in the back, right by us, and doing it. Now, he doesn't always do it that way. Sometimes I've noticed one of the videos that I've seen has him more in the middle. But there he was, all the way to the back, right there in front of us. So I'm going to see if this is in. If it's not, okay, fine. Be like that. You know what's going to happen is I'll try a different thing, and then it'll show up. But this is going to start playing. If this pops in here, it'll start playing right away. So, so let me find this. Here it is. Oh, You see this guy down here on the floor. There's a guy down there on the floor, and he's got that Zappa shirt on. I walked past him in the hallway outside the auditorium. Is wild. And this gal, there's this gal here right there under his guitar. She knew the song, and she was all over the next song as well. And she was singing along. But then there's a point at which she's communicating with other people, and you're kind of like, okay, don't worry about them. If they don't get it, don't worry about it. I was just like looking at her going, just pay attention to what he's doing, because you're loving it. You are loving it and just having so much fun. Just don't worry about if they get what you're saying or not. But keep an eye on her. It's funny.
Can't stop this thing we started, no way. I'm going young.
I mean, I just couldn't believe it. First of all, he sounded great.
Might take it slow. I gotta know. Nothing can stop this thing that we
I didn't know this song very well, unfortunately. I sang to about everything else, but there were certain songs I didn't know very well. And he did a great job with all the songs that he did. I didn't ever feel like I was, losing the plot at any point. It's pretty cool. I was really, and then he did Straight from the Heart there acoustically as well. So that was pretty cool. I was loving that. But yeah, I was right there. That was pretty cool. I just said that, I know. But yeah, let me see if I can get back to this set list too. This guy, I'll tell you what, he did 26 songs. 26 songs. It was really amazing. There he is, Can't Stop This Thing We Started, and Straight from the Heart off that B stage. Then he did Kick Ass, and then he did two of them from Reckless. He did Run to You and Somebody. Then he did his title track, Roll with the Punches, then 18 Till I Die. Then he made mention, as I put in the notes there about the songs, he made mention of KC 95 playing Take Me Back, which is a great song of his that as soon as I heard it, I'm like, yeah, we need to be playing that in my band. Then Please Forgive Me. I love that song. Sang like a big old dummy to that one. Shine a Light, then he said he wrote that for his dad, which was awesome. I was totally down with that. Kind of like when I was when Boston put out one of their ballads, and I was like, okay, another ballad. But then he said, it's about me and my son, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. So then back to Reckless for Heaven. Then the new track from the new album, So Happy It Hurts, and had his mom was sitting in the car with him in the video. So check out the video for So Happy It Hurts. It's a lot of fun. He's got his mom in the car. And it's like he and his mom are driving around, or he's driving around, and sometimes his mom is in the car, and then other times there's a couple of cheerleaders in the car, and then there's all kinds of stuff going on. But it's always in the car. Make Up Your Mind, he did. Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman, which I love that song. Had a beautiful Spanish guitar opening from Keith Scott. Here I Am, he did. You Belong to Me, which had a little snippet of Blue Suede Shoes in it, and then went into Twist and Shout. Now this says that it's the Top Notes cover of that. He followed that. Then Cuts Like a Knife. The Only Thing That Looks Good on Me Is You. Everything I Do It for You. And then Back to You. And then, of course, Summer of 69. Now, before I tell you the ending here, Summer of 69, let's get back here. I just found this. What a dork. It says, a crazed fan interrupted. So check this out. Maybe. Oh man, I feel sorry for Bryan there, but man, he just kept it going. I mean, that's not the first time that's ever happened to him. I know that, but still, all the same, it's just wow, what people do, and he sucked. Would have been different if you got up there and sounded really good, but man, he was already off. It's like, damn it, don't ruin my song. If you're gonna come up here and do that, if you're gonna act a twat, at least get it right. But he didn't. It just wasn't in him. Send him off. Put him on get him off to American Idol. They could use that. Everybody needs to chuckle. So here are some of the Bryan shots that I got. They're not, just to show you what the scope was and what we were seeing. Here's some of the more my photo. Here's one of my photos of that scene, and you could see the wristband lights were blue when that was going on. Here's a shot that I found out on the internet, which was pretty cool, taken from down below. And then here, I think this was 18 Till I Die. That was the I there. So there you go. If only I had a great camera, because that's that moment. I was like, ooh, I got him right in the middle of it. But yeah, that was really cool too. He put the lyrics and stuff up behind him there, and that was really cool and helpful, because then people like myself who maybe didn't know all the songs, you could sing along. Not that he did that for every song. He didn't do that for every song, but there were certain ones he did. There you go. Again, wish I had a better camera from all the way in the back. And there you go. I loved this camera. Now you can, let's see, there's one of these photos where you can see where the camera is, and it's mounted. It's right in front of the white, whatever the white is. If it's a white amp back there, or it's right behind Bryan there. There's a white, and then you'll see a stand there, a black stand going up there, and then there's the camera. So it was neat. It was mounted there, so he could play to us. We could see, what it's like being on the stage with him. But then sometimes he'd turn around, and it was really cool. And he'd be singing big right at everybody. So that was pretty cool. But neat stage setup, neat production, the things that went over the stage, and flew around. That was really cool. And everything. So that was really neat. And there you go. There you can see all those lights again. There. And there. And there. There's mine. I thought, I'll put my wrist up here and show you what the light looks like. Now, if you're interested in seeing the Pat Benatar footage, the only one that I didn't see out there was the one my daughter asked about. We were texting, and she's like, did you see, did they play All Fired Up? And I'm like, yes. I put that on a CD for her when I burned a compilation of women of the 80s. And she loved that. So anyway, so this, you can see this. It is called, what is it called? Big Concert Fan. So go out there on YouTube. You can find Big Concert Fan. And I don't think All Fired Up is out there, but every other song I think that they did is out there. You can watch, and everything. So it's a little grainy, but it's not, it's not horrible. You can see that there. You can see Neil's face and everything. So big thanks to Big Concert Fan out there for doing that, and everything. So yeah. There's another. I checked that out too. So yeah, I watched all of those, and my friend said she did a bunch of video too. So I have to get a hold of her and see what's going on. Hey, before I go any further, I wanted to show you this because I've had this in since I did the review of the Stones or talked about the Stones. And this is all lyrics. This is all drawn and made of lyrics from their songs. And it's a website called Art of Words. So I just thought they're like my unofficial sponsor for the day. But anyway, yeah, that's what that is. So yeah, a great show, fantastic. If you've never seen Bryan Adams, and you maybe seen Pat Benatar before, or you want to go see, maybe you've never seen Pat Benatar, this is a great double bill. It's really fantastic, great music, and of course, I like the fact that, she doesn't have to do "Hit Me with Your Best Shot." I know that there was a thing kind of about that maybe a couple of years ago, where she was talking about, or somebody was writing about it or talking about how she's decided not to do that. And I'm like, that's great. You don't need it. You have so many other great songs, because there are so many other great songs that she didn't do also. There's, Fire and Ice. There's, all kinds of songs that she's got that they can do otherwise. What I want to do now is we'll move on to some of the other notes that I have here. I don't know if you guys heard about the Bon Jovi thing, where they had to cancel. Well, they didn't really cancel a show. They were in the midst of a show. I can't even say they were in the middle. They'd already done 14 songs. I don't know how those sounded, but I guess they booked a thing for Madison Square Garden, and then that sold, and then they put in more and more and more, and they had nine times. They were going to play there 9 times. And that, I can just tell you, is going to be too much to do. I get that there's no travel involved in that. So I would assume, as a singer touring, that would be better, because you don't have to worry about all of that. So the travel might make it easier, but not with those songs, and not with the way he's been as of late. So in the midst of their 8th show, there's videos out there you can check out where he's talking about it on stage, and he calls the dude from Train Up, is it Monahan? He asks him to come up. He goes, "Oh, we got to do this one last tune, and then we'll see what happens." And he goes, "I think I'll even have Pat come out here and help me out." And so he comes out there, and you can see that he's got a teleprompter down there on the floor. And so then he goes out, and he's standing off to the side, and then they go into it, and then it's da, 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 and he's like really rough, not getting anywhere near it, and he's like just stopped singing, and he just called him over. He just come on over and help me out with this. And you're like, oh, this is sad. And again, I don't know what the rest of it sounded like, but that's just sad. So I would not want to go through that. I mean, I've had my nights where I was off, and I hated that, and I'm just doing covers, just hanging here in town. So I couldn't even imagine what how that must feel for him, which is why I'm just like, just don't do that stuff. If you can't do it, just don't. Because I mean, that reflects on the whole band. Then you can see I just took a shower. Also, hey, if you're wondering what to do with your coffee grounds, they're great for a shower. It's great exfoliation stuff, and you just get to be messy. Yeah, but man, it's nice. You just get your old coffee grounds, put them in a bowl or something, and take them in the shower, and just kind of, it's awesome. And it smells great, especially if you love coffee. I don't know if the caffeine gets into you or not, but anyway, it's even good for your hair too. So, but yeah, it was sad to see. I felt badly for him. I felt badly for the band, for the crowd, everybody involved. It's just tough. You just can't overdo it. You can't, if you know you're on the edge, don't overdo it. as far as movies are concerned, Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out on Thursday. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yes, I am looking forward to seeing that. I don't see many Marvel movies anymore. Just they're shit. So why waste my time? Some people are like, well, how do you know you don't like it until you see it? Well, I don't have to see them all. Well, especially when I see either the trailers, like let's take the Marvels for instance. Stupid. And I'm not gonna waste my time watching it. And then when I see the reviews, I see why. And yeah. The other night, finally saw a movie from 2022 called Barbarian. How disturbing is that? It's a movie that I put it into that context of when you come home and you think you've had a shitty day, um, sit down and watch that movie. There's also a little bit of discussion in there too about that movie. If you've seen Barbarian, let me know. Put it in the comments down below. And yeah, just tell me if you've seen it and what you thought of it. It's kind of interesting, you know. And while I'm at it, if you dig what we're doing here, like and subscribe. I'll probably say that again here in a little bit, but for the moment, that's what I'm saying right now. It was an interesting movie. It was what's the word I wanted? It was disturbing. And it's based on that whole age old thing where you're like you hear everybody going, well, he was such a nice person. But yeah, it is an interesting movie. It's done by a gentleman named Zach Kreger, who is a comedian as well, and they call him a comedic director. But the only things that I know of him is Barbarian, and we're going to be watching Weapons from last year, and then he's directed this new Resident Evil that's getting ready to come out. So if you haven't seen the trailer for that, check it out. But yeah, that's Zach Kreger did that one as well. So we're going to be watching Weapons sometime soon. I got a lot of movies. We're kind of on the cusp of a lot of things. We did a big Shrek viewing recently over the July 4th holiday. And then so we haven't watched Puss in Boots and the second Puss in Boots yet. I enjoy those films. They're funny. I just think I think he does a great job with those movies with that voice. So yeah, there's a lot of things like that. And then there's another, I don't know. There's another one that I was thinking about that I needed to watch too. But yeah, all kinds of movies. I did start watching Kroll. I think I told you about that. And so yeah, Spider-Man. We're gonna go and see that on Tuesday with our friends. So a week from today, we can go and see that one. Looking forward to it. Like I say, I'm trying not to watch the trailers and everything. Who's seen Doomsday trailers? I don't know how that's gonna be. It's very interesting how they put that together. If you've seen the trailer, it's interesting to see the characters in the background, like the Fantastic Four. Nobody understands the jacket that he's wearing, Mr. Fantastic. But when you look at all of the heroes from back here, and when whoever is talking, Thor is talking or whatever, and you look back and you see the Fantastic Four, it almost looks like they were photos and just dropped in on the stairs. It's kind of weird. It's kind of interesting. You're like, are they really there? Nobody's moving but the Thunderbolts. And I don't care about those guys. So that's going to be the tough part. I may go and see this movie, but there's a lot of characters in it I don't care about. And I don't like what they did to Shang-Chi. So we've talked about that. All right, so let's get back into our regular thing. So we got pickups. The other day I went to Frenchtown Records. I went to my friend's shop because not only am I working on this area down here, I'm also working on a closet upstairs. So my daughter showed me some ideas and leaving it open, no door. This is in our very front. You step in the front door and there it is. So we're just going to kind of make it a coat area, instead of having a door on it, just be open. So I'm working on that at the same time. Well, I had a bunch of lumber and I took it to my friend's shop and he helped me cut it there. And thanks, Matt. And so I got that there. And then the other day I was thinking about the stones. And that's when I was telling you I ordered a bunch of stones. And that's probably some of the stuff I've got here. I'm not going to go through everything. There's still too many things to go through as far as parcels are concerned. But I'm looking for AC/DC, early AC/DC now, because that's what I have burned. And I'm just trying to find some good, reasonable prices on those. There are, so anyway, so I was like, well, I'll go to Frenchtown Records. They have great prices on a lot of used CDs and stuff. So I went there. And this is what I found. If you're ever in the downtown St. Louis area, especially if you go see a ball game, you're not very far from the store. And it's great. Now, I buy this. I've told you this before. I buy this whenever I see it and it's at a good price. This, I'm looking at it now, is not a cutout, but it is sealed and it is 707 Megaforce. I couldn't believe it was sealed and it was only $10, $9.99. I'm like, yeah, we're buying that. We're buying it. If you've never heard it, do it. It's on my list of underappreciated records from over the years. So, all right. And I was very fortunate. I bought one thing. I just bought it because it was so cheap and somebody deserves to have it because it's a fantastic record. I'll get to that in a second. But first off, I found these. These are the remasters. They were in great shape. And how much were they? This first one, $9. So I'm like, that's cheaper than anything I'm going to be buying on even Amazon, right? So if I go to Amazon, it's going to be at over $10, probably, especially with tax anyway. So this saved me. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to pull it up here. I'll pull up Amazon and see what it says here. And then I'll probably sit here and go, damn it. I hate that. Because that kind of happened with a couple of Stones albums that I was looking at. Okay, so how much is it? Okay, so I saved $1. They have it here for $9.99, but it was on hand. It was in good shape, so I just did it. Normally, if I knew that's what the price was going to be, I probably would have just ordered it, but it's Let There Be Rock. So it was, I thought, what the hell? And there it was. So it's got the booklet inside and everything. It's a digipack. And yeah, thought that was cool. So I got that one. And then I didn't have the remasters, so I just thought I'd go ahead and get it. This was only $7.99. So if we go out there and look real quick, I'll see see what we find here. So there's that one. I do need to get that one. So maybe I will just order that one. No, nope. Yeah, we'll see. There it is. Highway to Hell. Well, they have it on vinyl for $20. Ooh, CD. I don't even know. I can't even tell you because this one, they had it. Somebody's got it for $175. But that ain't right. Let's just go here. AC/DC. Let's do Highway. See what we got. There it is. Yeah, well, it's $9. That's pretty good. Very nice. All right. Well, I saved a little bit. I saved $1 again. So there you go. So there you go. It was right. It was there. I got it. It's got the booklet in it, and it's digipack. It's pretty cool. I love this picture, by the way. So that was cool. So yeah, saving a buck is a buck. $2. Yeah, why not? Now this one, I'll take out the cover and put it in correctly, right? Got to put it in right. Now this might be the only hard rock album ever to have a song on it with the word bequeath, and that's Blue Murder. If you've never heard this first Blue Murder record, definitely do it. It was on Geffen Records, came out in 1988, I do believe. John Sykes, Tony Franklin, and Carmine Appice. There they all are right there. And this, I had sent to me from the record company. It was $3.99 on CD. I'm like, I'm not going to just let it sit there. I got friends that could use that. They would love to have that CD. So yeah. So those are what I got at Frenchtown Records. And now let's pull apart some parcels. All right. I don't know what I've got here. I got one. Let's see. What do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm telling you, there's too many to do at once. All right, I'm going to do this one because my lovely wife was so nice. I had something in the cart and it arrived because she ordered it. I just had it in the cart. I was waiting. And so then she ordered it for me though. So that was really cool. Boy, I'm going to have to like wipe down this cover. Yuck. But anyway, there's a used copy of Transparency, philosophy created by Southwest Airlines. God, there you go. Straight fares, no chaser. There you go. All right. Anyway, it's Billy Idol, Dancing with Myself. I started listening to this just recently, and he does it himself. And so it's kind of wild. There's the back. This, I'm telling you, if you haven't seen Billy Idol Should Be Dead, watch it. It's good. It's real good. Tragic in many ways, but yeah, but it's good. So eager to check that. It's almost like somebody was eating popcorn and so. Anyway, that's that. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, let's go for this. The tear. Should have done that closer to the mic. All right, see what we got here. Oh, this was inexpensive. And I was watching, it never really occurred to me that Paul Newman and Robert Redford, a couple of classics, were in a couple of movies together. I need to find out if they were in a third or more together. And it's The Sting. There you go. They had it for $8 on Blu-ray. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. So there you go. Awesome movie. Awesome movie. Let's see. This one has been here. This one's been here for a little while. I've been dying to get these open. Oh, yeah. Here you go. This is a book about a band that I did not get into. And I think I kind of bought this in hopes of giving it to my friend, since I don't think she watches my show. I don't think it's a big deal. So I think I'm going to I might pass this on to her when we hang out next month. Either that or I'll save it for her birthday. But it is Please, Please Tell Me Now, the Duran Duran story. So I was not into these guys when they came out, right? They were out a few years. They were a big deal with, all the gals back at the time, and I just wasn't into it. Just wasn't my style. There you go. I was into heavy metal and that's what they looked like. And I'm like, okay, I don't get it. But then they put out that Seven and the Ragged Tiger album, and I was in. I really enjoyed Union of the Snake, The Reflex, what was it there? New Moon on Monday. All those songs just really hit me. I thought they were well crafted, they were well recorded, they were produced, all the stuff. And I remember being in college and hearing all those songs, either on the jukebox or on the radio. And then, by then, I mean, that had been out for a bit, I guess. But at that point, then I was working on the radio and Arcadia came out. So, and Power Station came out. So, I don't know. Well, that's three things. Let's go ahead and do one more. I'm okay. I'm gonna. God, one of these. All right, fuck it. We'll just whatever. One of these is something super important to me because I want to do an interview. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so. Oh man, what a shitty case. Hope the CD's okay. And we'll find out. Because I ordered it because it was just a bit cheaper than at this Frenchtown Records the other day. And it is something you would not expect me to have gotten. But I reviewed this album when I was in college alongside Boston, Third Stage. And I gave this a better review. And it's the Beastie Boys, Licensed to Ill. So there you go. And there you have it. But it's got one of these, thank God I've got a bunch of cases, but it's got that where these are shitty and they've broken off. So just kind of do this, get it out of there, and shabai. Yeah. So now I got it. Oh, there's a. Oh, okay. I'll keep the front, and we'll get rid of the rest. Bye-bye. All right, and we'll put it over here and save that. Now that wasn't what I was thinking it was going to be, so let's do one more because I have to get this one open because I have to. Well, you'll see. All right. Yep, that's it. Okay, so this is a documentary. I did not know that this existed, and I've been wanting to call the shop out in New York. And this says, blew me away. Should be seen by any means necessary. There you go. Warm and affectionate, New York Times. The first line was from David, is it David P. or David Pear? Wow, I don't know. David Fear? David Fear from Rolling Stone. It's an interesting last name. Yeah. So anyway, it's Carmine Street Guitars. Okay, I've been following these guys on Facebook. Cindy necessarily is, and she's blonde on here. That's interesting. There they are. But they do all these, handcrafted guitars, but the wood comes from different a lot of the wood that they get in the shop, I don't know if it's all of it or how much of it, comes from buildings. If they have renovations going on in buildings, and they had a guitar that Cindy had done a guitar. She crafted a guitar from wood from a pew from a close by church. And then she gifted that back to them and they play it at the church. So, and I think the church had big renovations. It just reopened a little while ago. So so that was really cool. So I've been following her on Facebook, and I want to do an interview. And then I found out that this existed. I don't know. I'm not sure when this came out, and God knows I won't be able to read it. Well, part of it I can't read it is because there's a sticker on it. But let me see if I can figure out when this came out. Carmine Street Guitars. But I just flipped out when I saw that it existed. I'm like, I gotta watch it because I can't. I'm so glad that I found it because 2018, a small intimate film which mostly takes place in a cramped and cluttered guitar shop where master guitar maker Rick Kelly and his apprentice design and let's see if I can get to the rest of this here. Where did it go? Oh, come on. Okay. Design. Yeah, I don't know where the rest of that goes. But yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Let's see. I wish I could find the rest of that text. That drives me nuts when that happens. Anyway, no big deal. So yeah, can't wait to watch that. And then I'm going to be giving them a call. So yeah, I got a few more things here, and I got a few things on their way. So I will get to I'll have another show here real quick, and we'll get to the rest of those. But I've got other, like I say, I've got other things coming, so hopefully that'll be neat. So that'll do it for the parcels. Now, let's get to the playlist for this show. But before I do that, one of the things I've been doing is working down here in this area, and I'm going to go back to the screen here so I can see what you're seeing. So if I do this, whoop, there it was. Okay, right back there, those are my t-shirts back there. I got my music books up on top. You'll see that. But the t-shirts are, you know, they're in those boxes. I made new boxes and finished that up. And so when you're seeing these, in order for there to be two, for them to all fit in those boxes, they needed to be thinner. So what I did was I took a measurement, and then I figured out how wide I could fold them. And then I had a board cut that was the right width. And so that's what this is. Okay. So I just had this board, and I was it's just like a matte board for framing and stuff. So what I did was, I was going to put some artwork on it, you know, whatever it was going to be. But I decided, I had some, came from a book that had some cool album covers in it. And I found this Pretty Things Silk Torpedo album cover that was on 2 pages. So now I'm going to put something up the middle here so that it is, so that it goes all the way up here. So, you know, it doesn't just look like that because it looks kind of crappy. It's just me, but you know, I'm the only one using it. And then I was thinking about, you know, some other, I don't know, just some ideas as to what to put on it. And I thought, oh, you know, I could do the guy thing and put some ladies on there from, you know, years ago. Like, it would be kind of fun. The Farrah Fawcett classic poster, the classic Linda Carter poster, thought would be cool. Had an Iron Maiden idea on there. The Pink Floyd ladies, which are up there, I thought about that too. I don't know, just something to keep it fun and interesting for me while I'm folding laundry. But I settled on an Iron Maiden thing, and so that's what's going to be on the flip side of that. And I'm going to print it out. I've already printed it out. I'm going to laminate it, and then I'll put it on there. I got to put them together because it's too big. So yeah, let me see if I can find that I don't know if I have that artwork readily handy available or not. Nah, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll show it to you later. So yeah. So anyway, now the playlist. It's back in the day. There was a playlist that I did. A friend of mine was going to do a Pinewood Derby thing. I don't know if it was for his son, a nephew, somebody, and who it was, but he was going to do this, and he said, "Can you put some music together?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll put some music together for you to play." So I just, instead of worrying about any lyrics or any content like that, I just did instrumental. So I called it Need for Speed, and here it is. So here's the Need for Speed playlist that I did. Now, there are two discs to this, but I hadn't designed the second half of it yet. So I did a single disc, and then I did another one. So I'll give you that playlist later. So on this one, you can see just some cool stuff. In fact, check it out. I think Vinny played that when I was there at his show recently. I had gotten there a little late, and he was already playing, but I think I got to see him play Check It Out. Then we got Jaboom by Steve Vai, Playing with Fire by Impellitteri, from the same album that has Graham Bonnet on it. I think that's the title track, Playing with Fire. And it's got Graham Bonnet on it, and they do Since You've Been Gone. Little Savage by Yngwie Malmsteen. Yngwie J. Malmsteen, as if there was another. Paradigm Shift by Liquid Tension Experiment, LTE. Number 5. Number 6, we got Afterburner by Mark Bonilla. If you've never heard Mark Bonilla, do yourself a favor. It's been out for decades. There's a couple albums that he put out decades ago that are incredible. And Double E Ticket is the first one that I'm thinking of. And I think Afterburner is probably on Double E Ticket. But then he's got another one that's called Matador. And the drummer on it is the drummer it's Troy Lucetta from Tesla. So definitely check out Mark Bonilla. Double E Ticket goes that's like an old thing. You know, it's not just Disney, but that's how you got the special ride. You got the Double E Ticket. So, but yeah, back then in 76, I think is when we went down there. There you go. 50. Yeah, it's been that long ago, 50 years ago. Back in 76, when I went to Disney, they still sold lettered tickets. So you had Double E tickets to go on the real cool major rides. Choke Canyon by Ronnie Montrose. I think that's from the Diva Station. I think that's from. Cut to the Chase by Steve Morse. Mr. Sambo, Richie Sambora. Mr. Scary by Dokken. Well, George Lynch. I mean, he plays it out at Lynch Mob now. Title by John Paul Jones. Get Off the Fence by Mark Bonilla again. Motorcycle Driver by Joe Satriani. Number 14, we got Linus and Lucy by Gary Hoey. That's a great version of Linus and Lucy. Also, another great version is Stu Ham does a great version of that too. STU. I'll tell you about that story sometime. Black Magic at 15 by Reb Beach. That one reminds me, and I'll show you this sometime so you can actually see it. That comes from a CD called The Guitars That Ruled the World. And it was like Guitar Magazine or Guitar Player Magazine or one of those magazines put it out. And it's got Reb Beach and it's got Richie Sambora and is Earl Slick on that? And it's got Zach Wilde on it. Did I already say that? So anyway, when I handed that out, I met Reb Beach and I asked him to sign it. And then after that, a couple of years later, I would meet Zach Wilde at a autograph signing. And I handed it to him and he goes, "Who is this? Who signed that?" And I said, "It's Reb Beach." And he goes, "Why didn't he sign it so you can read it?" I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know. He goes, all I'm saying is you ought to fucking write so you can read it. I'm like, yeah, I get you. I appreciate that. So he signed it. So I'll show you guys that sometime soon. Number 16 to end the album is a cover by a band called ROCKIT, and it's a cover of an instrumental done by Al Di Meola originally, and it's called Racing with the Devil on a Spanish Highway. So check that out. It's fantastic. Privilege of Power is the name of the album. A friend of mine used to tell me, he goes, you're so easy. I just tell you about a CD and you go out and you get it. And I'm like, well, I just happened to be at the right place at the right time after he had told me. So that's how that came about. He told me about these, this album, and I was like, okay. And so I just happened to go to I don't know if it was a used record store or if it was something else. Oh, good Lord. I'm getting a phone call. Jeez whiz. But it was right there, Privilege of Power. So I picked it up. Great record. In fact, Joe Lynn Turner makes an appearance on it. So that's pretty cool. So it's a great album. It's called Killer. His name, Killer is the name of the song. He's a killer. Yeah, wow. It's a sexy tune about a not so cool person. But that's the way it goes, right? That's just the way it goes. All right, guys. Yeah, I think that's it, though. We will talk about something else next time. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you'd like to talk about. And, I also always love to put this up. Let me see if I can open this up. I had to restart my computer earlier just because I knew if I didn't, it would have been worse than it was earlier. Think about all those people up there up north that are having issues with electricity, for crying out loud. Let's hope that gets fixed straight away. And let me see if I can. Wait a minute. Where did I put that? Doop 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 doop. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Right. So yeah. So forever remember, every day when you walk out your door, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So act accordingly. And keep everybody in mind, for crying out loud. There's too much inconsideration happening. So I appreciate everybody that's been here today, checking this out, everybody who's watching this after we're done. And just, again, let me know what you like. I love chatting about music. I love talking about it. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. So that way, hey, I had this one since last night. You knew I was coming on. So it's always an honor and a pleasure to do this. And just keep it cool. Enjoy the rest of your evening now that that's coming. All you hammerheads out there. And then I'll see you on the other side of the storm. Until then, I'm Viking Stew. Always rocking it. So a good rockin' bye-bye to everybody. Have a great evening, folks.